Hi Aya, my name is Steve and I'm going to show you how to use your Apple TV box. Hopefully it'll be really simple, but we'll see. So we're going to start by just looking at how it's connected to the TV. I'm sure yours is connected, but by showing you this it will help explain a few things. So here's our Apple TV down here, and you'll notice there are two wires coming out of the back of it. A smaller, skinnier wire, that's the power cable, that always has to be there of course. And then this fatter one, this is an HDMI cable, and that's what sends the signal between the Apple TV and your TV. So this one's really important because you need to know where it's plugged in into your TV. Your TV, like most TVs, has multiple HDMI connections. One of them will be plugged into that big white Rogers box you have, so that's probably plugged into HDMI 1 on your TV. And your Apple TV is probably plugged into HDMI 2. That's how it is on ours. So in order to use your Apple TV, you need to switch between HDMI 1 and HDMI 2. It's going to be different on your TV than it is on ours. It'll look a little bit different, but it's fundamentally the same. So here's how we're going to do it. First, I'm going to turn the TV on for us. Our controls are at the top. I think on your TV, the controls are on the left-hand side. So I'm going to turn the power on. Just takes a moment for the TV to come on. All right. And you can see across the top here it says HDMI 1. That's not what we want. We want it to be HDMI 2. So I have another button on the top here. It's just called Input. You probably have something like that on your TV as well. I just press that. Now it lets me to scroll through the different connections. So I'm going to push that button. You're going to stand back, Lucy, and show what happens on the screen. So I push it once, and I get a little menu. It comes up here, and I push it again, and it goes down to HDMI 2. And that's it. Now I'm on HDMI 2. So you're going to do something similar to that when you have your Apple TV stuff. Why did it just disappear? Oh, okay. So your Apple TV never really turns off, but when you first do that, it might say there's no signal. So all you have to do is use your Apple TV remote. It looks something like this. And you just press any button here, and that will wake it up. So ours is not asleep, but well, it's kind of got a screensaver going. So I'm just going to press any old button here. And then I get the main screen for Apple TV. And each one of these symbols that you see on the screen are services or channels that you can watch. Now, most of them, unfortunately, they're subscription only. So if you try to watch them, it's going to ask you to log in, and if you don't have an account, well, you won't be able to log in. That's true for all of this entire top row here. There's no point even trying to use those if you don't have an account, and I'm pretty sure you don't. The things that you probably will be able to watch, I think there's probably only two things that are of value to you: Netflix and YouTube. So let's start with YouTube first. YouTube is completely free to everybody. So the way you access these things is you just navigate on the screen using this remote control. You'll see they have this big, large, round button, sort of dark in color with a center part. Use the outer edge of this to just select between what you want to move around. So you can go in sort of any direction just using that control. So when you select something, you'll see there's a little white triangle around the box on the screen.
Triangle.
Sorry, rectangle. There's a white rectangle, not a triangle. Anyway, so once you see that rectangle, then you just press the middle button, and that makes it go there. So I just entered YouTube. It takes a second for it to show up on the screen. And these are the offerings that YouTube has. It's just some kind of random selection, usually based on what you watched last time. And then you use the same navigational capability to just go, oops, wrong way, sorry. To just, you can sort of go around and search or, hunt and peck for the things you're looking for. But there, as I say, it's truly a random listing. So if you haven't watched anything, you probably might not be impressed by what you see there. You might want to do a search. So to search, just go back up here, so press the up part, and it reveals the sort of top level menu bar. and you see that there's a search control, so I can just slide over there. And this gets really painful now. So if you want to search, you could use your remote control to just dance around in the little keypad here and spell what you're looking for. So let's say I wanted to look for
Troy.
Troy. Okay, so I just use my thing and sort of come down here and spell Troy. And so I go T. Every time you land on a letter, just press the center. And we got the T. And I can come over to R. And you'll notice actually over on the right hand side, it tries to guess what you're looking for. So sometimes you don't have to spell the whole thing. Close. And Troy. Well,
Hector versus Achilles.
yeah, so this is actually just a fight scene from the movie Troy. It's not the whole movie.
So how do you get to it?
So to get to it, you just go use the same control and move to the right until you get there. And then come down, and now just use the center button to select it. And it will go and retrieve that and start playing. Just like that.
Oh, I do believe that's Brad Pitt.
No, that's not Brad Pitt.
No,
that's Hector.
Bradley Cooper. Who is that?
That's not Bradley Cooper.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
No, I
Who
don't.
is that?
I don't remember his name. Some
Okay.
English actor.
Tom Hiddleston.
No,
No.
no, he's got a sort of ethnic-sounding name.
Cool.
That's Brad Pitt.
No way.
Yeah.
So Brad plays Achilles?
Yes, of course. He's the star. He's gonna get the star. Well, I guess you could argue Hector is the star, but
Okay, anyway.
anyway,
Moving right along.
it's a dopey fight scene because it only lasts about 10 seconds. Right, so that's how you kind of search for things. And by the way, if you're typing and you make a mistake, you can, and you want to, change the spelling, what you did, you have to scroll all the way down here to delete, and it will back up, and then you can spell something else.
Trout. Trouble.
Whatever. Okay? If you want to get out of this, anytime you want to go back to a previous screen, you could just press the menu button, and it'll just bring you back. And just if you hold the menu button, it brings you all the way back to here. No matter where you are, if you hold it, it brings you back to this screen here. Okay. Now the last thing to show you, I guess, is Netflix. So it's a little bit different looking, but it's the same basic idea. We select it, press the center of that big circle button, and it brings us to the Netflix menu. We have multiple selections here. We have different users in our family. We all use the same Netflix account. And Netflix remembers what each of us is watching. That's why we have different accounts. I mean, they're all the same account, but just different profiles in the account. So we could create a profile for you, for example, and then you would just go to your profile and it would remember what you last watched and make recommendations for you based on what you last watched, that sort of thing. So anyway, you selected the name. I'm going to use Lucy's name. It's already selected here. But again, you just move up and down with the big control.
Oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
What would be Aya's name? Would she be Randall Person?
Now I'll create one called Aya.
Okay.
And then you can go into the suggestions for you. So if I select that, the big button, it expands and gives me a full screen of options, and I can navigate through that and just choose the one I want. Or I can go back to here and say, well, I want to actually watch something that I never finished watching last time, and select that, and you can see it's a much smaller selection there. Or if you want to just browse through TV shows or what's new or whatever. So that's kind of how you navigate Netflix. Netflix is a subscription service. I think that we've already programmed your Apple TV with our credentials so that if you select Netflix, it'll automatically come up. But if it doesn't, what it'll do is it will give you you'll see on the screen it says, please enter your account name and password. So if that happens, it's a little bit more complicated. We have to get you logged in. You can log in with our credentials. I don't have a problem sharing with those, but it's a little bit more complicated. And this video is getting a little long.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a second video that shows you just how to log in. Okay? That's all. Good luck.